divided are we as a nation, really? When you look at COVID-19, friends, it's amazing how right down the middle there is such division as to, is it a conspiracy or are we not taking it seriously enough? When you look at our economic situation, friends, between the Republicans and the Democrats, the conservatives and the liberals, there is such a different view on how deep is the divide on our economic situation and what kind of heroic measures should we take, or are we doing way too much and we're now past the point of no return? Friends, when you look at the demonstrations in the streets of America, even the riots in the streets of America, there are those who say this is necessary. It's like the Revolutionary War of 1776, and there are others that are saying these are felonious people and they ought to all be arrested. Friends, and then we have our political scenario. The presidential election of 2020 and all the elections that I've been a part of, friends, this is the most divided I have ever seen our nation. And do I dare bring up the term BLM? I didn't say BLT, not a bacon, lettuce, and tomato sandwich, but BLM, Black Lives Matters. Friends, we are so divided, not just as a nation, but even in the churches of America. I have just completed a blog, friends, that we'll be presenting to you over the next few weeks on how would Jesus respond or react to the Black Lives Matters movement. I'm not talking about the origin of the movement going back to Bobby Seale in 1968 and the Conspiracy 8. I'm not talking about the whole subject of the two ladies who are the founders of the movement. I'm talking about the slogan, Black Lives Matters. Do we agree with that statement? Are you averse to that statement? Well, friends, I'm going to encourage you to look at the blog, and I simply want to ask this question from a biblical perspective. If Jesus were walking today, this planet, right here on earth, how would he negotiate the Black Lives Matters movement? What would his perspective be? Would he say all lives matters, or would he say olive skin lives matters? Now, it's interesting because Jesus would have a very unique platform in that Jesus was not only Semitic, olive-skinned, but if you go back to his background and you go back to Rahab and if you go back to Bathsheba and some of those in his lineage, Jesus also was of the lineage of Ham, which would be the Africans, the blacks as well. How would Jesus respond to this movement, or to this statement rather, of Black Lives Matters? Well, I hope you'll tune in and go to our website at Hemet.Church and just listen to some of these thoughts that I've endeavored to be able to communicate to you from a biblical perspective. Because, friends, I want to tell you, many of us who are baby boomers and even Generation Xers, maybe we think, you know what, the term Black Lives Matters is offensive. But then the millennials and the Generation Z, they're saying, no, this is important and we better listen. Well, friends, hopefully this blog will speak to you and speak to me as well and determine how can we as the church, we're the salt of the earth. Friends, we are the light of the world. We're not called to be thermometers that watch the news and say, here's the problem, here's the issue. We're called to be thermostats. We're called to not add to the problem, but bring Rophi, healing, a spirit of mending and restoration to this issue. So my question to you is, on the topic of Black Lives Matters, how important is it really? Should we discard it and say it's divisive, or how could we as the church bring unity to this most critical time in our nation's history?